Previously on the Wishology Review Marathon.
So last time we covered the Tokyo Meme Power and Princess Tutu reviews, and today we have another review that almost every Nick fan has known about Wishology. And it's a series of 3 special fairly OddParents specials with 3 chapters. The big beginning, the exciting middle part, and the final ending. So let's start off with the development together, shall we?
Overall, this special is really impressive, and it really kicks off the trilogy of the very OddParents specials.
I really enjoyed this special when I was 11 years old, and Gabe called it Part 1 of Sonic Unleashed but on Nick. And Rachel also liked it, but there's more where that came from on this Trilogy review. So here's what's coming up next time.
We will be talking about the exciting middle part, and don't worry, the next part will be talking about Trixie, and the most important parts of Season 6. So please, do not miss it! And then it continues.
Don't forget to subscribe!
Welcome back to the review. Let's compare the Eliminator to Kirby, Mystique from X-Men, and Mio Takano from Higurashi When They Cry New. Kirby, for example, has the ability to swallow enemies and has a special copy ability to imitate the enemy's ability. As for Mystique, she has the ability to shapeshift into anyone she sees. As for Mio Takano, in the Higurashi Kai episode 13, you might have noticed that she had the ability to kill everyone because she wanted to become a god, because the Eliminators have also wanted to kill anyone in existence just so they can become a god themselves. Great work with the comparisons. We all know that Eliminator actually does shapeshift into anything it sees, and hence the name, it wants to become a god. So let's get this middle part over with.
Spoiler alert!
Please, you would view at your own risk, or click on the timestamp when you see it on your screen or in the comments pinned below. The exciting middle part, aka Timmy and Trixie's first kiss? Where we left off, Timmy is basking in the glory of being the chosen one because he defeated the darkness, and he gained a video game, a movie, hordes of fans, and a statue of himself holding the white wand in all of his honor. He proclaims to all a fairy world that the darkness is never coming back, even though Turbo Thunder keeps insisting that the darkness will return and that they will all regret rejecting him as the true chosen one, but he is ignored. However, meanwhile, on Yugopotamia, life is going on as usual. However, their usual admiration of filth is interrupted when meteors crash on the planet, carrying with them Eliminators. King Ripullin and Queen Jibjorlak try to board their escape pods only to accidentally launch them, trying to prove each other that they can handle flying them, and only Mark's pod remains, and they presume that their son is on Earth, hating his home planet, and chilling with the universe's great space warrior Timmy Turner. But as it turns out, Mark has returned to Yugopotamia with his new fakifier, because his old one is out malfunctioning and it turns him into ladies' footwear. But before he could strap a new one on, the darkness tears him off the palace roof, and Grippelon places his son in his escape pod and tries making a grandstanding speech for him, only for the pod to be launched by Jibjorlak before he could finish. And then Eliminators then crash it and suck the king and queen into black holes, and the head Eliminator, declaring that the chosen one will not escape this time, releases the fakifiers into the darkness as it consumes Yugopotamia. Back in Fairy World, Timmy and his god family are seeing a commercial for his biographical film. However, he had tweaked the scripts to portray himself as a ninja kissing Trixie Tang, and Wanda becomes concerned that the violence in the movie could negatively influence Poof. But Cosmo discusses her concerns, and after he says that, Poof displays many martial arts moves, and Wanda tries to convince Timmy to go home because his parents are worried sick about him, even though the parents are self-deported idiots. And she quickly poofs him back home after pretending to hear a wiener-stuffed Cosmo advocating that action. But it turns out Timmy's parents have forgotten to bring him on vacation and leave with him without even thinking, which proves their self-absorbed idiocracy, and this also proves that the parents themselves deliberately neglect their son from time to time. So Timmy really wants to go back to Fairy World and demands that Wanda should poof up all the wieners and gifts he left behind. They then hear Mark's girly scream, and they go outside to find the Ugopotamian pleading for his help against the darkness. Because Timmy is the Chosen One, and Timmy tries correcting that he isn't truly the Chosen One, but remembers that he hasn't told Mark that, and asks why he's holding him tightly. And Mark is revealed to be an Eliminator in disguise, who tries sucking him in. And Timmy tries wishing the Eliminator away, but it snatches the fairies' wands before they could. Luckily, the real Mark's pod crashes on the imposter, but they are able to confirm that's him because of the lack of a vortex mouth, that he ate a dirty diaper. Disgusting! Well, but Mark actually then makes the same plea as the imposter did, and after Mark activates the fake fire the Eliminator was wearing, Wanda asks why the darkness would destroy Yugopotamia and not rest of the universe. And Cosmo guesses that perhaps the darkness is only after Timmy because since he was the one to defeat it, the darkness wants him to take him out before going to the rest of the universe. After realizing that the darkness is back, Timmy says that they must go and find the Turbo Thunder so that he could defeat the darkness, but they arrive at Fairy World too late, as Jorgen had banished Turbo Thunder for claiming that the darkness will be coming back, and he simply laughed at his claims only to stop when Timmy says that the darkness is coming back, thinking that they missed an important part of the cave prophecy. So they go back to the Cave of Destiny, and Jorgen insists that there isn't a part of the prophecy he could have missed, like having the eyes of an eagle, the speed of a puma, and the wisdom of a great horned owl. And Timmy corrects him by clapping his hands, revealing that the second part of the prophecy, revealing that there's a second one. And Jorgen corrects his statements to make that the eyes of a mole and the wisdom of a clothes hamper, but I still have the strength of a lion. And Cosmo also notices that the drawings depicts the Eliminators taking over Fairy World, which is causing a really bad outcome here. Outside, Cupid is irritated that the streets are crowded with so many fairies, but most of the fairies are, in fact, Eliminators who have been snatching up the fairies and their wands, and Jorgen senses the disturbance in the fairy force and says that they must decipher part 2 of the prophecy to find the next one. Mark, finding that cave drawings are amazingly written in Ugopotamian, deciphers that the second wand is located on the blue moon, but the Eliminators, disguised as stalagmites, capture the fairies, but before they could eliminate Timmy, he and Mark escape through a convenient escape back to Earth. And then Timmy then attempts to enlist Mark and help him defeat the darkness, but his friend has no interest in being his sidekick until he has to repeatedly save Timmy from the Eliminators who have disguised themselves as Timmy's closest friends and family. A chase around town leads Timmy back to Timmy's house, where the rib is ripped off. The Eliminator then gathers into a circular motion, forming a vortex, and Timmy manages to stop the darkness and destroy the Eliminators by throwing various gifts received from his fame and into the darkness, including a boombox, some roller skates, and some cocktail weenies. He and Mark then rush off to find the ladder spaceship. However, the Eliminators survive and absorb the items Timmy threw into the darkness, gaining the roller skates, singing "Get Timmy Turner" to funk music coming from boomboxes attached to the bodies, which I think is pretty hilarious because they danced in sync, as a matter of fact. Oh, and we should point out that after stopping the fake Eliminator and Mr. and Mrs. Turner, Mark and Timmy went outside to make sure not to get hit with any more surprise attacks. But Trixie Tang appears putting on her lip gloss, which is a strawberry peach flavor. And she said,
It was at this moment that Nathan knew. He up.
"Thank you. Anyway." Meanwhile, the Eliminators have locked up all the fairies in addition to Timmy's friends and family in Fairy World's greatest prison, Abracatraz, which is a parody of Alcatraz, which is a real-life prison. Timmy's parents think that they are suffering their overeating cocktail weenies and believe that it would be crazy to see fairies, but when they do, they faint. And as Wanda screams for a way out, Jorgen is optimistic that Timmy is hurling through space with the speed of a space cheetah to find the second one and save them all. However, back on Earth, Timmy and Mark find that the ladder spaceship is not in the Dimsdale dump because the Eliminators have all of his friends and loved ones, and Timmy figures that his enemies could help. they go to Crocker, who has built a large telescope designed to find Fairy World. And Crocker agrees to help if Timmy confesses to having fairies, in which he anticlimactically answers. And holding up to the end of this bargain, Crocker shows him the blue moon in the vegan system, and he also unveils the Crocker rocket to help them get there. And Mark asks how he could afford this on a teacher's salary, and Crocker answers that he stole the funds for a new school science wing, and he tries to prove that he could get them to vegan in time, but he accidentally launches it. And luckily, Timmy knows where they can get a spaceship by posting an embarrassing movie of Dark Laser, calling him Fart Blazer, on YouTube, which is a parody of YouTube, aka the site you're on right now. Word quickly spreads, and the Dark Laser, angered that Timmy would disclose his secret irritable bowel after he confided in the boy, and comes down to Earth to confront him. Timmy quickly ushers her up the ramp, stated that they'll discuss the subject later. When Mark asks whether he thinks his enemies can take on the darkness, Timmy says that they're missing one person, Vicky, whom he lures with fake cash. And to secure their help, he promises that Crocker could see his fairies, the sadistic babysitter, Vicky, $20, and Dark Lasers can destroy him when the whole crisis is over. Back in Alcatraz, Timmy's friends and family learn the truth about his fairies, and angered that Timmy wasn't considering them, they get angry. Though Wanda reasons that Timmy has risked his life for them, and considering that Mr. Turner asks if Timmy could have wished away his man flab, Jorgen snaps that he could have and tries reminding them that they must break out, and unfortunately, an Eliminator hears them and marches up to their prison cell, and Jorgen tries correcting the statement to say he's hungry. The Eliminator offers chicken fingers, to which Mr. Turner declines. In midst of this, Poof blasts out and defeats the Eliminators with his martial arts skills, before setting everyone free. And Jorgen there declares that now they must join forces with Timmy, only to be reminded that they don't have wands. Therefore, they must disguise themselves as Eliminators to retrieve the wands, but Jorgen is reminded once again that they don't know where Timmy is, much to his dismay. Because there's no food on the ship, Dark Laser suggests they go on to a cafe on Frigidarian, and Crocker panics, knowing that it's the coldest planet in the galaxy. And to keep the others warm, Dark Laser gives them a thermal refuge barrel, some blankets, and his ex-wife's fur coat, and a set of earmuffs to warm them, because they look very similar to Star Wars characters. Timmy as Luke Skywalker, Mark as R2-D2, Crocker as Chewbacca, who he also makes noises due to his sinus trouble and possible allergies, Vicky as Princess Leia, and Dark Laser as Darth Vader, who he already looked like. And arriving in the cafe, which is similar and is a parody to Mos Eisley Cantina, and they attempt to sit down for snacks. And unfortunately, every other patron in the cafeteria is an Eliminator in disguise. And they capture Vicky, Crocker, and Dark Laser with ease and add their weapons into arsenal. And with the Eliminators bearing down on him, Timmy tries reasoning with them that they want Turbo Thunder. He then shakes the head of the Eliminator's hand, causing them all to malfunction and shut down. Mark perceives that he defeated them with his Chosen One death grip, though Timmy says that he was trying to be nice, to which Mark says he works too. Timmy then runs outside, proclaiming that he is the Chosen One. It is when the darkness arrives that Mark shouts to the darkness, asking what does it want, to which the darkness moans Timmy's name. And luckily they are saved by Turbo Thunder, who brings them to Thunderworld, his amusement park he plans to open once he defeats the darkness. But when said the darkness follows them, Turbo Thunder insists that Timmy tells him where the second one is, and Timmy agrees, but only if Turbo takes him and Mark it with him. But Turbo Thunder had in fact lied, leaving Timmy and Mark to the mercy of the darkness. To save their lives, Mark swallows Timmy whole and styles away on the ship before they take off. And though unknown and seen by Turbo Thunder, they reach the blue moon and Mark regurgitates Timmy. Timmy is just about to get the second one, but is confronted by Turbo Thunder and the Guardian in the second one. Although Turbo attempts to fight the Guardian, Timmy refuses to do so. Turbo is beaten down by the Guardian, and Timmy is granted the second one and is declared the true Chosen One. As Timmy's enemies are being carted off, still frozen in ice, they are freed by Jorgen, and once informed of Timmy's whereabouts, quickly poofs him to the blue moon of Vegan,
where Timmy is taunted by the head of the Eliminator that no magic wand can stop them and promises that they will keep coming back in greater numbers than before. Luckily, Timmy's friends and family arrive and successfully drive the Eliminators back with a combined magical attack. Timmy is more grateful that they saved him. After giving Trixie a unicorn, Chester reminds Timmy that the darkness is still bearing down on them. However, when Timmy tries to use a second wand against the darkness, nothing happens and the dark entity remains. And the darkness then tries inhaling everyone, and only Jordan is the anchor to the ground, keeping everyone from being sucked in. He asks Timmy to say the word and it'll poof them all away, but Timmy knows that no matter where he goes, the darkness will follow him. And Mr. Turner sobs out that what it does it even wants. And however, the darkness answers by creepily moaning Timmy's name. And realizing that the darkness only wants him, Timmy climbs the rope his friends and family made, where Trixie kisses Timmy before he willingly releases his grip on her and getting pulled into the darkness. The darkness leaves Timmy while everyone is heartbroken at his loss. And for some reason, Trixie and Vicky cried even a little for Timmy's bravery, and Vicky openly explains that she'll never call Timmy a twerp ever again, followed by Mark hitting on her. And Jordan and the others firmly decide that since Timmy sacrificed himself to save him, it was now their turn to save him, before he foolishly created a rocket ship using magic and accidentally launched it away without anyone on board it first. And it pans out to the view of the blue moon and to the view of the galaxy as the darkness comes toward the screen. And this is the first Fairly OddParents episode or movie with a cliffhanger, which was heartbreaking.
This video is a pain more than it should have, so I'm splitting it into 2 parts.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.